Success tastes like expensive champagne and bitter almonds. I'm staring at my phone, watching the likes and comments pile up on my promotion announcement while my hands shake around my celebration glass. 7 years of silence shattered by one social media post, and now my mother's number flashes on the screen like a warning sign. I let it ring 4 times before answering. "Hello, Mother." "Rowan, darling." Her voice drips with the same synthetic sweetness she used to coat our childhood disappointments. "I just saw your wonderful news. Senior Marketing Director at 38. We're all so proud." I'm 28, not 38. She knows this. Just like she knows I prefer whiskey to champagne and that I'm allergic to almonds. Little details that mothers should remember about their daughters, filed away under unimportant in Linda Mitchell's perfectly coiffed head. "Thank you," I say, keeping my voice level. "It was unexpected." "Oh, but you must tell us all about it. Your father and I were just saying how perfectly timed this is. You know, with Hannah looking to break into marketing herself." "Of course. Hannah." My fingers tighten around the stem of my glass until I worry it might snap. My sister's name hasn't crossed my mother's lips in 7 years, not since the incident that drove me away. Now it's wielded like a weapon, wrapped in casual conversation. "Is that why you're calling, Mother? To discuss Hannah's career prospects?" "Don't be difficult, Rowan. Family helps family. And we're having a little gathering next weekend, nothing fancy, just close family. Your grandmother Evelyn's been asking about you." Grandmother. My throat tightens. The one person I've truly missed, the woman who taught me that strength doesn't mean staying in toxic situations. Who supported my decision to leave even while it broke her heart. "I'm quite busy with the new position," I say, but my resolve wavers. "Evelyn's not getting any younger, dear. She'd love to see you. And Hannah's prepared a special dinner." My phone buzzes with an incoming text. "It's from Aunt Carol, don't let them manipulate you. But if you come, I've got your back. Also, Maggie misses her favorite cousin." I close my eyes, remembering my 12-year-old cousin's gap-toothed smile and her constant documentation of family events on her phone. At least some family members are genuine. "I'll think about it," I say finally. "Wonderful. Saturday at 7. Wear something nice, you know how your father appreciates proper presentation." The call ends before I can respond. Typical. I down the rest of my champagne, grimacing at the taste. 7 years of building a life without them, of therapy sessions and self-discovery, of learning that success doesn't require parental approval. All potentially undone by one phone call. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from Hannah. "Can't wait to see you, sis. So much to catch up on. By the way, that promotion sounds amazing. Any chance we could grab coffee before Saturday? I'd love some career advice." I stare at the message, noting the excessive exclamation points, the casual assumption that I'll attend. The immediate pivot to what she wants from me. Some things never change. Another text arrives, this one from Grandmother Evelyn. "They're playing their games again, my dear. But sometimes the best revenge is showing them exactly who you've become without them. Your choice. Always your choice." I set down my phone and walked to my office window, looking out at the city lights below. 7 years ago, I walked away from their manipulation and favoritism. Now they're offering me a chance to return, not as the forgotten daughter, but as someone they need. The question is, what am I going to do about it? Grandmother Evelyn's house smells exactly the same, lavender and old books, with a hint of the butter cookies she always keeps in her crystal jar. Standing on her front porch, I almost convince myself the last 7 years never happened. Almost. You look tired, dear. She pulls me into a hug before I can protest. Her arms are thinner than I remember, but her grip is still strong. Come in before your mother spots you and turns this into one of her impromptu garden parties. I follow her inside, noting the fresh paint on the walls, still the same shade of pale yellow. You've been redecorating. Your father's idea. Says the house needs updating if we're going to maintain property values. She waves her hand dismissively. Sit. Tell me about this promotion that's got everyone in such a tizzy. Before I can answer, the front door swings open. Hannah breezes in, designer handbag swinging from her arm. Grandmother. Oh, Rowan. You're early. Actually, I'm right on time. Hannah's smile doesn't quite reach her eyes. Mother said you changed. More. Professional now. Her gaze slides over my tailored suit. Though some things never change, do they? Still hiding behind those boring corporate clothes. Hannah. Grandmother's voice carries a warning. What? I'm complimenting her success. Speaking of which. Hannah perches on the arm of my chair, too close. I've been thinking about your offer to mentor me. I never made that offer. But Mother said. Whatever Mother said was her interpretation, not mine. I stand, needing space. I haven't agreed to anything. Hannah's face darkens. You always do this. Act so superior, like you're the only one who. Girls. Grandmother claps her hands. Hannah, dear, why don't you check if your mother needs help with the arrangements? Hannah leaves, but not before shooting me a look that brings back memories of my high school graduation. The day she'd announced her acceptance into community college drama classes during my valedictorian speech. Stealing my moment just like she always did. She hasn't changed, I mutter. No, Grandmother agrees. But you have. She reaches for her cookie jar, then pauses. Oh, that's right, your almond allergy. Linda brought these. I'll get the butter cookies from the kitchen. My stomach clenches. Mother knows I'm allergic to almonds. Does she? Grandmother's voice is carefully neutral. She mentions something about you outgrowing that childhood sensitivity. The doorbell chimes before I can respond. Aunt Carol enters with Maggie, who immediately launches herself at me. Rowan! Look what I got! She waves her new phone. I'm documenting everything now. For my video diary. Everything? I ask. Maggie, Aunt Carol warns, remember what we discussed about privacy? But this is family stuff, Maggie protests. And Rowan's famous now. I saw her on LinkedIn. Hannah returns, followed by our parents. Mother's wearing her event planning smile, the one that means she's orchestrating something. Father barely glances at me before checking his phone. Rowan, darling, Mother trills, Hannah has the most wonderful news. She's been offered an interview at your company's creative department. The room goes silent. Hannah studies her manicure, avoiding my eyes. Interesting, I say slowly. Considering our creative director just announced their retirement. Internally. Yesterday. Father finally looks up. Your mother may have mentioned your promotion to some colleagues at the country club. Of course she did. The pieces click into place, Mother's sudden call, the family gathering, Hannah's forced friendliness. This was never about reconciliation, was it? Don't be dramatic, Mother sighs. We're simply utilizing family connections. It's what successful people do. No, I stand, hands shaking. It's what you do. Use people. Manipulate situations. Did you even consider that putting Hannah under my supervision might damage my professional reputation? Well, Hannah sniffs. Maybe if you weren't so selfish. Selfish? I laugh, the sound harsh even to my ears. That's rich, coming from you. From the corner, I hear the distinct sound of Maggie's phone camera clicking. Aunt Carol moves to stop her. But not before capturing whatever expression crosses Hannah's face, something ugly and familiar that makes my skin crawl. Grandmother touches my arm. Perhaps we should move this discussion to the dining room. I've prepared your favorite dessert, chocolate torte. No almonds. But I'm already reaching for my bag. 7 years wasn't long enough. Some cracks can't be plastered over with family dinners and forced smiles. As I turn to leave, Hannah calls out, running away again? How predictable. I pause at the door. No, Hannah. This time I'm walking away. There's a difference. Behind me, Maggie's phone keeps recording. The family dinner stretches like a rubber band about to snap. Mother's dining room, with its pristine wallpaper and carefully arranged family photos, feels more like an interrogation chamber. Hannah sits across from me, pushing food around her plate while father drones on about market projections and networking opportunities. The creative director position would be perfect for Hannah, Mother says, refilling wine glasses no one has emptied. Rowan could mentor her, show her the ropes. I set down my fork. The position requires 10 years of experience. But surely, father interrupts, with your influence. My influence comes from earning my position, not nepotism. Hannah's fork clatters against her plate. God, you're still so self-righteous. Some of us actually have talent, not just ruthless ambition. Talent? I laugh. Is that what you call manipulating people to get what you want? Girls, Mother warns, but there's a tremor in her voice. She knows what's coming. Tell them about the interview, Hannah. The words taste like acid. Tell them how you already knew about the position before it was publicly announced. Color drains from Hannah's face. I don't know what you're talking about. I checked my work email. Someone's been accessing it, badly covering their tracks, but accessing it nonetheless. Only family would know my password hints. I turned to Mother. Did you help her with that too? Father's phone drops to the table. Linda? It's not what you think, Mother starts, but I'm already standing. I need air. The dining room suddenly feels too small, too suffocating. I slip into Father's study, needing distance, but voices drift through the heating vent, a secret passage Hannah and I discovered as children. When eavesdropping was still a game. Can't let her ruin this opportunity, Mother's voice hisses. Hannah needs this position. We've already arranged everything with the board members at the country club. She's suspicious now, Father responds. Maybe if we... I don't care what we have to do. Hannah gets this job. Rowan owes us after everything we've done for her. A soft laugh, Hannah's. Don't worry. I have something that might make her more cooperative. My phone buzzes. A text from Maggie. Check your email now. You need to see this. I pull up my inbox. There's a video attachment from Maggie, filmed through the study's window. Mother and Hannah, yesterday, huddled over my father's computer. Hannah's voice comes through clearly. Her work password was easy, just had to think like Little Miss Perfect. Now we can adjust her performance reviews for the creative team. The study door creaks. I switch off my phone as Hannah enters, her smile razor sharp. "Found you," she says. Mother's serving dessert. Her special almond torte. I'm allergic to almonds. Are you? She steps closer. That's right. Like you're allergic to sharing the spotlight. To letting anyone else succeed. You tried to hack my work account. Prove it. She shrugs. Besides, who would believe you? The jealous older sister, trying to sabotage her talented younger sibling? That's not a good look for a senior director. My hands shake. What happened to you, Hannah? What happened? Her mask slips. You left. You abandoned us. And now you're back, acting superior. When really you're just the same scared little girl who ran away because she couldn't handle not being daddy's favorite anymore. That's not. Save it. She moves to the door. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to recommend me for that position. You're going to mentor me. And you're going to do it with a smile, or everyone at your precious company will learn about your history of mental health issues. I went to therapy because of this family's abuse. Funny how stories can be reframed. Her smile returns. Now come have dessert. Mother made it specially for you. I watch her leave, my heart pounding. Through the vent, I hear Mother calling everyone to the table. Maggie's video burns in my inbox like a loaded gun. 7 years ago, I ran from their manipulation. Now I have proof of their true nature, captured in pixels and promises. The question isn't whether to use it, but when. Grandmother Evelyn's garden has always been her sanctuary. Even now, as she clips dead roses from their stems, her movements are precise, deliberate. I watch from the stone bench, Maggie's video burning a hole in my pocket. You're not eating the almond torte, she says without turning around. Smart girl. You knew? I've watched Hannah bake it 3 times this week. Practicing, she said. Evelyn's scissors snap shut with finality. Your mother enabled her perfectionism. I enabled my silence. We all have our sins to bear. A bee buzzes past, landing on one of the remaining roses. The garden suddenly feels less safe. I have proof now, I say. Of what they're doing. What they've always done. And what will you do with it? She finally turns, her eyes sharp. Revenge is a rose with thorns on both ends, Rowan. My phone buzzes, another message from Hannah, time's running out. Decision by tomorrow, or those medical records go public. Evelyn notices my hands shaking. Show me. I play Maggie's video. Grandmother's face hardens as she watches Hannah and Mother plotting at Father's computer. When it ends, she sets her gardening tools down with careful precision. There's more, I say. Hannah's threatening to expose my therapy records. Twist them into something ugly. Like they twisted everything else. She removes her gloves, revealing soil-stained hands. Did I ever tell you about your grandfather? The abrupt change throws me. Only that he died before I was born. He didn't die. He left. After I exposed his affair with his secretary to the board of directors. She smiles, but it's sharp as her scissors. He was going to blame me for embezzlement. I simply struck first. Grandmother. The point isn't the revenge, dear. It's knowing when to strike, and why. She touches a rose, gentle despite her words. Your sister is planning something worse than career sabotage. I see it in her eyes, the same look your grandfather had before he tried to destroy me. A crash from inside the house makes us both jump. Through the window, I glimpse Hannah at father's computer again, mother standing guard. They're getting desperate, grandmother observes. Desperate people make mistakes. Or become more dangerous. I stand, pacing the garden path. If I expose them now, I'll lose any chance of reconciliation. Reconciliation? She laughs, harsh and sudden. Look at me, Rowan. Really look. I do. Beyond her carefully maintained appearance, I notice the slight tremor in her hands, the tension in her shoulders. I spent 40 years hoping your grandfather would realize his mistakes. Would apologize. Choose family over pride. She picks up her scissors again. He died last month. Never changed. Never admitted what he did. My phone buzzes again, Aunt Carol this time. Hannah's at the company office. Now. Emergency. Go, grandmother says, reading my expression. But remember, sometimes protecting yourself means burning bridges others built to trap you. I hesitate at the garden gate. What happened after you exposed grandfather? I built this garden. Planted these roses. Created something beautiful from the ashes of what he tried to destroy. She straightens, suddenly looking younger. The thorns protect the blooms, dear. Remember that. Racing to my car, I call Aunt Carol. Her voice is tight with urgency. Hannah convinced the board to hold an emergency meeting. She's presenting evidence of your misconduct. Maggie overheard her practicing her speech. She's going to claim you've been sabotaging other employees' careers to maintain your position. The irony would be funny if it weren't so devastating. How long do I have? Meetings in an hour. But Rowan. She pauses. Maggie got more footage. Of Hannah doctoring documents on your father's computer. The timestamps match the unauthorized access to your work account. I think of grandmother's roses, beautiful but armed. Of bridges built as traps. Send me everything, I say, starting the engine. It's time to show them who I've become. Behind me, in grandmother's garden, the roses stand proud despite their pruning. Sometimes growth requires cutting away the dead parts first. The boardroom feels like a tomb, all polished mahogany and stifled breath. Hannah stands at the front, perfectly poised in her designer suit, while 12 board members lean forward in their chairs. My evidence folder sits heavy in my bag, but I wait, watching my sister perform. As you can see from these performance reviews, Hannah gestures to the projected documents, my signature forged at the bottom. My sister has systematically undermined potential competitors within the creative department. Director Chin frowns at his tablet. These are serious allegations, Miss Mitchell. Please, Hannah's smile is razor sharp, call me Hannah. We're practically family, aren't we? Mother mentioned your lovely dinner party last weekend. My phone vibrates, Maggie sending another video. I don't need to watch it. The timestamp will match Hannah's latest forgery, just like the others. Rowan? Director Chin turns to me. Your response? I stand slowly, feeling the weight of years of family dynamics pressing down. Before I respond, I'd like to ask my sister one question. Hannah's smile flickers. This isn't an interrogation. No, I agree, it's a performance. Your best one yet. I step closer, watching her hands clench. Tell me, did Mother help you practice this presentation like she helped you practice your high school drama auditions? Or did Father coach you on corporate politics while you were using his computer to hack my work account? The boardroom temperature seems to drop. Hannah's smile vanishes completely. That's ridiculous, she says, but her voice wavers. I would never. My phone connects to the projector with a soft beep. Maggie's latest video fills the screen, Hannah at father's computer, mother standing guard. Both of them hunched over documents that look suspiciously like the ones currently displayed. Turn that off, Hannah snaps, lunging for the controls. Why? Isn't this your big moment? The spotlight you've always craved? You don't understand, she hisses. You never understood what it's like living in your shadow. My shadow? I laugh, the sound harsh even to my own ears. You were the golden child, Hannah. The artistic one, the special one. I was just the workhorse who didn't fit the family image. Enough, Director Chin interrupts. Security is on their way. Both of you will. The boardroom door bursts open. Mother sweeps in, father trailing behind her like a reluctant shadow. This is all a misunderstanding, Mother announces. Family disagreements that should never have reached the workplace. We can. Linda? Director Chen's eyes narrow. Did you arrange this emergency meeting through your country club connections? Mother's perfectly composed facade cracks slightly. I was merely helping my daughters. By facilitating corporate espionage? I pull out my folder. I have proof of unauthorized access to company systems, forged documents, and attempted character assassination. All tied to my family's IP addresses. You wouldn't, Hannah whispers. We're family. Family? The word tastes bitter. Family doesn't try to destroy each other for personal gain. Family doesn't. A notification pings on my phone. Another video from Maggie, just recorded, Hannah in the parking garage, mixing something into a coffee cup. The timestamp shows 10 minutes ago. I glance at my own coffee, sitting untouched on the boardroom table. The one Hannah insisted on bringing me as a peace offering before the meeting. Security's here, Director Chin announces as two guards enter. Please escort everyone except Miss Mitchell, Rowan Mitchell, from the premises. As they're led out, Hannah turns back. You'll regret this. Mother and father will never forgive you. No, I say quietly, but I might finally forgive myself. The door closes behind them, leaving me alone with the board and the evidence of years of manipulation. My phone buzzes one last time, a message from grandmother. The thorns protect the bloom, dear. Let them bleed. I take a deep breath and face the board, ready to tell the whole story. Sometimes protection means more than just defending yourself, it means ensuring the thorns are sharp enough that no one dares attack again. Grandmother's house glows with party lights, a perfect facade for the nightmare unfolding inside. Mother has outdone herself, crystal glasses catching lamplight, fresh flowers on every surface, and the entire country club board in attendance. All here to witness Hannah's triumphant entry into corporate success, riding on the coattails of my destruction. Rowan, darling, Mother calls across the room. Come join us. Hannah's about to make an announcement. The room spins slightly. I've been careful, avoiding anything Hannah might have tampered with, but something feels wrong. My throat tightens as Hannah takes center stage, champagne flute in hand. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight, she begins, her voice carrying that practiced theatrical tremor. Especially my sister, Rowan, who's been so supportive of my career aspirations. The word supportive drips with venom. I reach for my water glass, trying to steady myself. In fact, Hannah continues, Rowan's already helped secure my position in the creative department. The board was quite impressed with my portfolio, particularly those performance reviews. My vision blurs. The water tastes strange, bitter, with a familiar undertone that sends panic shooting through my chest. Almonds. Hannah, I try to speak, but my throat is closing. What did you? Oh dear, she says, eyes wide with fake concern. Are you feeling unwell? Mother, didn't you say Rowan outgrew her almond allergy? The room tilts. Through the gathering darkness, I see Maggie's phone raised, recording everything. Mother rushes forward, her perfectly manicured hands fluttering uselessly. Someone call an ambulance. Aunt Carol's voice cuts through the chaos. She's just being dramatic, Hannah says smoothly. She always does this when attention shifts to me. My knees buckle. Grandmother appears beside me, her voice sharp with fury. Where's her EpiPen? In her bag, Mother says. But surely she doesn't need. Her bag's gone, Hannah interrupts. How strange. The world fades to snippets of sound and shadow. Grandmother's voice, steel-edged, you've gone too far this time. Aunt Carol on the phone with emergency services. Maggie's quiet sobbing. Delete that video, Hannah hisses, presumably at Maggie. Now. Make me, Maggie responds, sounding far older than 12. Someone's holding my hand, grandmother. Stay with us, dear. Help is coming. But darkness creeps in, heavy and final. The last thing I hear is Hannah's voice, pitched for the crowd, I don't understand. She knew there were almonds in the water. Mother specifically mentioned it. The lie follows me into unconsciousness, along with the realization that my sister finally has what she wanted, me out of the way. My reputation in tatters, and her path to success clear. I wake to hospital lights and beeping machines. Grandmother sits beside my bed, looking older than I've ever seen her. How long? My voice is raw. 6 hours. She grips my hand. Hannah's telling everyone you deliberately drank the almond water to sabotage her announcement. Your mother's backing her story. Of course she is. Maggie's video? Deleted. Hannah smashed her phone. Grandmother's voice hardens. But not before Maggie uploaded everything to the cloud. Every video, every recording, from the past week. Including Hannah tampering with your water. Hope flickers, then dies. It doesn't matter. The board believes her performance reviews. My career's over. Is it? Grandmother reaches for her bag. Remember when I told you about your grandfather? About striking at the right moment? She pulls out a USB drive. I kept copies of his original documents, proof of his schemes. The same computer your father uses. The same passwords he never changes. Like father, like daughter. My throat tightens again, this time with something other than anaphylaxis. You knew they'd try something like this? I knew they'd overreach. She places the drive in my hand. The question is, are you ready to end this? Really end it? Through the window, I see Mother and Hannah in the hallway, already spinning their story to concerned board members. 7 years of distance, of healing, of building myself up, all undone by the relentless need to control the narrative. My fingers close around the drive. Sometimes protection means more than survival. Sometimes it means making sure they can never hurt you, or anyone else, again. Yes, I whisper. I'm ready. The hospital's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows as I plug grandmother's USB drive into my laptop. Hannah hovers in the doorway, her perfect composure finally cracking. Whatever you think you're doing, she starts, but I cut her off. Did you know father never changed his passwords? My voice is still raw from the intubation. 20 years of financial records, emails, everything. Including your little performance review forgeries. She steps inside, closing the door. You're bluffing. Like you were bluffing about the almonds? I turn the screen toward her. Or about the board meeting? Or maybe about this. The video plays, Hannah mixing something into the water pitcher, mother watching, father in the background checking his phone. The timestamp is clear. Maggie's quite the documentary filmmaker, I say. Though smashing her phone was a bit obvious, don't you think? I was protecting myself. Hannah's mask slips further. You've always forced me to. Force you? The laugh hurts my throat. I left. For 7 years, I stayed away. But that wasn't enough, was it? You needed to destroy me completely. You don't understand what it's like. She surges forward. Perfect Rowan, with her perfect career. Do you know what mother and father expected from me after you left? The pressure, the constant comparisons? Poor Hannah. I click through more files. Always the victim. Even when you're committing attempted murder. That's ridiculous. It was just an allergic reaction. That you deliberately caused. On video. With witnesses. I meet her eyes. The police are already reviewing the footage. The color drains from her face. You wouldn't dare. We're family. Family? Another click reveals father's emails about Hannah's forged credentials. Like when you and mother planned to use my position to cover up your lack of qualifications? Or when father helped you hack my work account. I earned my chance. By trying to kill me? The door opens. Mother rushes in, followed by father. Their timing was always impeccable. Darling, let's discuss this privately, mother starts, but stops when she sees the screen. Her own words in black and white, detailed instructions to Hannah about accessing my work files. Linda? Father's voice shakes. What did you do? What you never had the courage to do, mother snaps. Make things happen. Ensure our daughter's success. By attempting murder? Grandmother enters, Aunt Carol and Maggie behind her. That's what this is, Linda. Premeditated attempted murder. Don't be dramatic. I have the hospital toxicology report, Aunt Carol interrupts. The almond concentration was deliberate. Calculated. Hannah lunges for my laptop. I press enter. What did you do? She demands. Sent everything to the board. The police. The family lawyers. My finger hovers over another key. And with one more click, it all goes public. Every email, every video, every calculated move to destroy me while building Hannah's fake career. You'll destroy this family, mother whispers. No, grandmother steps forward. You did that years ago. Rowan's just turning on the lights. Hannah's composure shatters completely. I'll deny everything. Say you doctored the evidence. With what credentials? I turn the screen one last time. Your real college transcripts are here too. The ones showing you never finished that arts degree you claim to have. The room goes silent except for Maggie's phone, still recording. Hannah stares at mother, who stares at father, who finally looks at me. I never meant. He starts. Save it. I press the final key. It's done. Hannah's phone chimes. Then mother's. Then father's. The sound of multiple notifications filling the room as the truth spreads through email chains and social media. "You've ruined everything," Hannah whispers. "No," I say, watching their carefully constructed facade crumble. "I just stopped letting you ruin me." Grandmother places a hand on my shoulder as security arrives, summoned by the hospital after reviewing the toxicology report. As they escort Hannah away, mother crying, father silent, I feel nothing but exhaustion. "Was it worth it?" Maggie asks quietly, lowering her phone. I think of the roses in grandmother's garden, how they bloom despite the thorns, because of the thorns. "Ask me tomorrow," I say, watching my family's web of lies finally, irrevocably, unravel. Grandmother's roses survived the autumn frost, their late blooms defiant against the cold. I clip dead leaves from the bushes while she sorts through old photographs on her patio table. The morning paper lies between us, its headline still sharp: Mitchell family scandal, attempted murder charges filed. Hannah's lawyer called again, I say, printing another withered stem. They're offering a deal. Grandmother doesn't look up from her photos. And? She'll plead guilty to lesser charges if I agree not to testify. The thorns catch my gardening gloves. Mother sent a letter through Aunt Carol, begging me to consider it. For the family's sake. Always for the family. Grandmother slides a photograph across the table. Found this while cleaning out the attic. It's me at 18, valedictorian speech in hand, Hannah visible in the background. Even then, her expression held that mixture of jealousy and calculation. I'd missed it at the time, too busy trying to earn the approval I'd never receive. The board voted yesterday, I continue, moving to another rose bush. Father's resigned. Mother's country club membership's been revoked. Their whole social circle's imploding. Good. Grandmother's voice carries no sympathy. Though that's not what's really bothering you, is it? The printing shears slip, drawing blood despite my gloves. A perfect metaphor, even with protection, some things still cut deep. I found this in Father's emails. I pull out a folded paper. From 7 years ago, right after I left. Hannah asked them to reach out, to apologize. They refused. Said it would teach me humility. And now? Now I understand why you let grandfather destroy himself. The admission feels like releasing a long-held breath. Sometimes justice isn't about revenge. It's about finally stepping away and letting truth do its work. Maggie appears at the garden gate, phone conspicuously absent for the first time in weeks. Mom says Hannah's taking the deal. She'll serve time. She hesitates. She asked me to tell you she's sorry. Not Hannah, Mom. For not stopping things sooner. Your mother did what she could, Grandmother says. She documented the truth. Sometimes that's the greatest act of love possible. I study the roses, how they've grown stronger after pruning. The detective handling Hannah's case asked why I didn't press charges 7 years ago, when she first started sabotaging my career. I told him I wasn't ready to see the thorns for what they were. And now? Maggie asks. Now I understand what Grandmother meant about protection. I remove my gardening gloves, examining the small cut on my finger. Sometimes it's not about avoiding pain. It's about choosing which battles leave scars worth keeping. Grandmother gathers her photographs, pausing at one final image. Found this too. Thought you should have it. It's not a photograph but a letter, dated decades ago. My hands shake as I read my grandfather's words, threatening grandmother with the same tactics Hannah used against me. The same manipulation, the same family pressure, the same choice between truth and acceptance. You knew, I whisper. All along, You knew what they might do. I knew what people do when image matters more than integrity. She stands, stronger somehow in her revelation. But I also knew you needed to find your own thorns. Maggie picks up the pruning shears I dropped, examining their sharp edges. Will you help me plant my own roses next spring? Mom says our yard needs something that lasts. The question catches me off guard, this simple request for future growth. I look at grandmother, who nods almost imperceptibly. Yes, I say, understanding finally blooming like a late autumn rose. But first, let me show you how to handle the thorns. Behind us, the morning paper's headline fades in the sunlight, yesterday's scandal becoming tomorrow's cautionary tale. Some would call it revenge, this systematic exposure of family secrets. But here, among the roses my grandmother taught me to tend, I recognize it for what it is, pruning, making space for healthier growth. I reach for the shears, ready to demonstrate their proper use. After all, every gardener knows, the sharpest tools, handled with care, create the strongest blooms.